right, let's get it going, son. We are on. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKR Sport. We are live as South Africa take on the Cook Islands in a World Cup qualifier. Before later on, we do have the game between the Samoans and New Zealand in a massive Pacific Cup final, which is going to be absolutely huge. If you want to see my preview for that game, I did a whole analysis video yesterday about my thoughts about New Zealand versus Samoa. But first up, we do have the Cook Islands versus South Africa, which should be look, realistically, it should be a blowout, especially when we're looking at recent results for South Africa. They are not a developed nation when it comes to rugby league union. They would absolutely pump the lemon bejeebers out of the Cook Islands. But in rugby league, it might be the opposite way around. You know, we look at recent results here for the South Africa Rhinos, and they had a friendly against Niue, a country that many people may not know, but Niue is a country in the Pacific. They lost 34-28 just last week on the 4th of November in a friendly at St. Mary's Stadium in Sydney. And then the last game before that actually comes all the way back in 2024, where they took on the Americans, United States, twice and did lose them twice. It was 44-32 to the United States and also 38-18 to the United States. Their last win comes back in 2023, where they beat Kenya 82-2. What on earth is that? They go beat Kenya 82-2, but they lose to United States and Niue as well. So really interesting. Look, I think overall South Africa shouldn't be coming into this expecting to get a win, especially with Cook Islands actually having some decent enough form in the Pacific Bowl against Fiji and Papua New Guinea. They were never expected to win that game. There are clearly different tiers and different levels of rugby league on the international level. But they did compete quite highly with Papua New Guinea. You know, it was actually a really close game where it finished 40-28 to Papua New Guinea. But overall, it was actually 34-28, and then Cook Islands had the ball, had a chance to score through an intercept, and then Papua New Guinea were able to win that one by 12 points. But ultimately, it was only a 6-point game, and they still scored quite a few points. And Fiji, they scored 24 points against them. They conceded 44. But overall, that was a really positive Pacific Bowl against really good NRL talent, whilst this South African Rhinos team, they're coming up against a team that, look, is one of the weakest when it comes to the mainstays of, you know, international rugby league teams, but they should be still much stronger than what South Africans do have to offer in this game. So let's go through their team lineups. You will recognize a few names from the Cook Islands Aitu, but you probably won't recognize anyone from the South African Rhinos, but let's get into it. So guys, obviously hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new around here, and let's do it. So Cook Islands play Rhinos in a World Cup qualifier at Commbank Stadium in Sydney. Now the fullback is Isom Ioka for the Cook Islands. The wingers are Paul Olberg and Tiapo Stoltman. The centres are Cornell Sharkies, Kale Iro and Ruben Rennie. You go to the 5'8", Cassius Cowley, with the halfback being Isard Masters. Then the front row forwards are Makahesi Makatoa and Davin Mawali, a couple of mainstays, well, relatively mainstays there in the NRL, and then Mason Teague in the number 9. You go to the back row of Brendan Piakura and Murata Niakore, who is the captain, and then the 13 is Pride Pedersen Rabati. Interchange of Rua Ngatakaura, Ruben Porter, Justin Makareri, and Reese Duncan, with the 18th man replacement being Amari Milford. So that Cook Islands team, again, when they come up against, you know, some of the bigger dogs, or not even the big dogs, just like relatively decent teams or decent teams in general, being Fiji and Papua New Guinea. Yeah, sure, they lose, but they compete highly. They're now coming up against South Africa here, and let's read through some of these names. Get ready for it, guys, because you'll be learning some new names today. So the fullback is Luke Pereira de Vlieg. The wingers are Neil Buerkes and Brady McMillan. The centres are Callum McMenemy. Callum McMenemy, we got it there in the end. Bryn Durand as well as the centres. Then you go to the 5'8", who is the captain, Kobe Thomas. The halfback is Cameron Cryer. Then you go to the front row forwards of Shane McKenzie and Jason Smith, with the number 9 being Kobe Martin. The back row is Ethan Sweet and Keegan Turner, with the 13 being Aidan Perry. And then the interchange is Riley Canning, Joshua Hill, Ashley Bull, and Marcel Cornelison. The 18th man replacement is Callum Gulliver Brown. So like I said, no NRL talent here. I go on to the Wikipedia, however, for South Africa, and it does give me where these guys do play. So a lot of them are playing for, like, there is one that plays with the Mackay Cutters, which is Ethan Sweet. You've also got a North Sydney Bears player in Kobe Thomas. Callum McManamy is a part of the Parramatta Eels system. And then you're getting a lot of South Logan Magpies, St. Mary Saints, the Moranbah Miners. There's a couple of actual South African domestic teams here in the Grizzlies and the Harlequins, and Forestville Ferrets somewhere in Australia, Currumbin Eagles for Keegan Turner. So they are a part of not even necessarily just lesser leagues, but just a completely different system where it just is not up to the same level where Cook Islands are. And that's why you have to assume that Cook Islands will win this game 13+, especially when you consider the most recent results for South Africa just aren't pretty. You know, you go to that most recent game in a friendly against Niue last week, they lost 34-28, and they lost last year in the 2 games against the United States, 44-32 and 38-18, whilst the Cook Islands are competing pretty heavily with Papua New Guinea and Fiji, and unexpectedly, you know, competing pretty heavily. South Africa do have some good results to their name. Like I said, that Kenya game where they won Aitu 2, they also beat Kenya 56-12 the week prior, a couple of days prior, actually. They only had 3-day rest between the 8th of November and the 11th of November when they beat them by a collective 130. They scored 128 points and only conceded 14. So that's good, but, you know, Kenya's not exactly well known in rugby league either. Did lose to Italy 50-20. Did beat the Philippines 72-14. I guarantee you the Philippines would have been loving if they could have had Payne Haas and Cleese Haas in that game, because they wouldn't have a worldwide amount of NRL talent themselves. They are able to beat Poland 38-18. They did beat 38-16. Sorry, they did beat Brazil 82-0 in 2022. So it's like they either lose or they just win big, you know, against teams that shouldn't even be like really considered. But they either lose or they win by a massive scoreline. Now, the last time they actually played in the 2021 World Cup inter-regional qualifiers, which is what this game is today, they played the Cook Islands, and it was a 66-6 win to the Cook Islands. That was back in 2019. Have they played each other at any other stage in history? Not that I can see. Not that I can see. I think there's only been that one game, and it was 66-6. Look, again, I don't hold much hope here for South Africa. I believe that it would be amazing to see South Africa do well, because it would. There's no pathways, there's no development. Obviously, rugby union is their game. But I would feel like it would be an amazing thing to see South Africa get a result or a surprise, just so we can get into, I guess, some form of their population. And they already like rugby union. Well, this is similar-ish, you know. So I would love to see South Africa compete here, but I just can't see them winning. I will take Cook Islands, not only 13+, but I'll even consider taking them, you know, potentially 50+. They could win this game 50+ with the way they were playing in that Pacific Bowl. So, look, let's see. Hopefully it's a good game. Later on today, we do have the massive game between the New Zealanders and Samoans in a cracker of a Pacific Cup final. Samoa having their first chance at winning any major international trophy, whilst New Zealand looking to get it back for the first time since 2023 after a disastrous Pacific Cup last year for New Zealand. But hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. Let's get the chat. Let's see what you are seeing. Fire it up. Solidosto says, Tukia, let's go, boys. Samuel says, Tukia, let's go. Solidosto says, finally, get around it. All right, so they are doing the national anthems right now for the Cook Islands, and also, well, it's Cook Islands now. There is pretty much nobody in the crowd right now. There is a women's game as well. I believe it's between Australia and New Zealand right after this. Ooh, let me just make sure. Let me unmute that so I can hear it. There we go. There is actually a women's game on afterwards. I'm not going to be streaming that one. It's so difficult for me to do the women's competition overall, because usually it's on, especially for the NRLW, usually it's on when the NRL is on. So it's very difficult, nearly impossible for me to actually consistently stream the women's game whilst we're streaming every single NRL game. It is Australia versus the Kiwi Ferns. And last week, the Australians won 10-4. Still a close game. So maybe we could see the Kiwi Ferns get the Dutch Australia to probably win that game. Master says, hello, Blaze. Is Val Holmes today? No, Val Holmes is not playing today. Isn't Val Holmes injured for the rest of the season? Wasn't Val Holmes with the Dragons? Didn't he get injured for the rest of the season? Lagan says the whole of Australia is going to be watching this game. Well, if the stadium attendance is anything to go by, then I'm probably going to have to doubt your beliefs in that regards there, Mr. Lagan Ballsacks. I think that's Pretty hefty assumption there, because the crowd definitely isn't looking too spectacular as we currently speak. And if, by the way, guys, if you do see like problems with the internet and whatnot today, then please let me know, and I will actually move into a different part of the house for the main game between New Zealand and Samoa, because yeah, it can be a bit of a tricky one down in this specific room. Solid Hostel says no Holmes today. Yeah, no Holmes. I'm pretty certain he was injured for the rest of the season. I don't think he's healthy yet. If he was healthy, then sure. If he was healthy, then great. But I don't believe that he is completely healthy, to be fair. All right, we're about to get rocking and rolling. So this says 1:25 p.m. here, guys. Obviously, I'm in Fiji right now, so it'll be... Wait, I've got my time. Wait, hold on a second. What's going on here? I don't know what's happening. It's 12:23 for me here in Fiji, and yet it says here it starts at 1:25. It doesn't, though. It doesn't. It's about to start right on now. They're about to come out here. I'll refresh that so the live score does come up. I'll refresh it so the live score comes up. I don't think that they're going to win this game. I don't even think they'll be close. Unfortunately, I do not. But we'll have to just wait and see and hope that there is some form of give for this team that I've never seen any of these names. I think I've heard the name maybe Callum McMenemy. I think I may have heard that, or maybe that just rings a bell with somebody else in another sport or something. I really couldn't tell you anyone from the South African team. Totala says, let's go Samoa. Yes, Samoa play later on today, though. Samoa is on, well, for me, it starts in about 4.5 hours' time. For me, it starts in 4.5 hours' time. So we've still got plenty of time. There's a women's game in between. I won't be streaming that one, but there'll be a women's game. So Losto says, yeah, he was training with him. Oh, he's training with him. Oh, fair enough. Camera's glitching crazy. Oh, is it crazy? Okay, well, let me see. Maybe if I move this forward. Yeah, because we're going to try and go forward into a better position. I don't know. We can only do what we can do, but we will... we'll probably move for the next game. All right, so they've done everything. They're about to get underway. The Cook Islands, do they have their own haka? Do they? Do they have it? What is the Cook Island dance called? Oh, the ura. One of the popular traditional dances of the Cook Islands is the ura. Is that what they do here? No, that's I just googled this and it goes, a sacred ritual usually performed by a female who moves her body to tell a story. Well, I just asked if the Cook Islands have a haka, and you've just given me a story about it. I just read you out a sacred ritual usually performed by a female. Well, none of these guys are females here. Well, I'm so sorry for saying that. But anyway, the game is about to get rocking and rolling here. Jay Hayes in the building. Jay Hayes in the building. M City. Oh, I've got something for you. You want to see the game? Hold on 1 second here. 1 second here. Give me one moment here. I'll send you a link to the game here, just for you, mate. Just for you, M City. How about this one? All right, M City 2560. Here's the link to the game, mate. That's the link to the game in the chat right now. When it does send. Oh, it can't send just at the moment. Hold on. I'm trying to get it for you, mate. Trying to get it for you. And the game has kicked off. All right, here we go. This one's for you, M City. Alrighty, so the Cook Islands will kick it off, and South Africa will start off with the ball. Geez, that number 8 for South Africa is a massive Donny. He is massive. Let me just refresh this live score so you've got that there. Refresh that little bad boy. And the live score should be underway. There we go. South Africa, third tackle. They're going to be at the 30. It'll be very difficult for me to tell you who the South African players are today during the commentary, but the Cook Islanders I'll have a better idea about. And now fourth tackle, they're going to be at the 35. 39 minutes to go here of the first half. At least they're making some meters here. I wouldn't maybe if anything to expect out of a South African team that none of us are aware of and have no idea about. Maybe we would have to expect that their forwards are still going to be able to get some good meters because they are big boppers, especially with what we know about their rugby union team. So it's going to be Stoltman now for the Cook Islands. We'll get this ball to the 28. They'll go to the right-hand side of Kale Ero. Oh, haka is called the Pe'er. Sorry if I mispronounced that. The Pe'er. I'm in the Cook Islands. So good stuff, Saladosto. Second tackle here for the Cook Islands, and they're going to get this ball now to the 35 on third tackle. Wasn't actually disappointed with that first set from South Africa. I really wasn't. I was expecting a lot weaker defensively in this first set, as long as they don't give away a penalty. This isn't actually awful defense. Oh, now it is. No, that's going to be a knock-on for the Cook Islands. It was actually pretty good defense from the South Africans. And they're going to get the ball here at the 45. I just really hope the Cook Islands don't come into this game just expecting the win. Like, we can as fans, and we can as, you know, people watching the game and having an idea about the players and knowing these players. But the players themselves can't have this thought process. Because at the end of the day, this is the best team that South Africa can put forward. It's not exactly the most outrageously great Cook Islands team, so they should win this game and win this game well, but they can't come in with the expectation they still have to play their best kind of footy. Oh, yes, they do, the haka. Fair enough. I didn't get to see it. That's why I questioned it. So it's first tackle at the 45, and they go at the back in South Africa, and they'll go into the line of the 50 through their forward second tackle. They were shaping out for a wing move, but unfortunately they just couldn't get the ball out there quick enough, and now they're going to be at the 42, third tackle. This is a good start here for South Africa. I would very much expect in the last 20 minutes Cook Islands to run ramp. Oh, geez, they nearly knocked that ball on. The last 20 minutes I'd probably expect the Cook Islands to run rampant, though, which is what we saw a lot in the Pacific Bowl games with Fiji and Papua New Guinea. They actually ran rampant on Cook Islands in the last 20. Here we go. South Africa. Here's a chance. South Africa. Here's a chance. Here's a chance. They're at the wing here. They're at the 15. 15 minutes out. Fit tackle. South Africa have started this game off well. They roll this ball at the back to the 20. They're going to kick this ball into the corner. Not a bad kick at all. Good. Oh, there's potentially a takeout there. Knock on from the Cook Islands. This is going to be a penalty to South Africa. What a start here by the South Africans. What a start. I don't know if anyone's been expecting that. That kick from, I think it was the number 6 here for South Africa, which is Kobe Thomas, who was their captain. That was a good kick. South Africa are going to be 10 metres out here from the Cook Islands line. Remember, guys, whoever wins this will be in the World Cup next year. Oh, no, they've actually said it was a penalty to the Cook Islands. So now it's Cook Islands ball at the 30 on first tackle. He must have changed that around because on the screen it showed that South Africa got the penalty. And they must have said that he took him out without the ball. I don't know what they called just then because on the screen it said that it was a South African penalty. But anyway, second tackle here for the Cook Islands. They're going to be at 35, and now South Africa will give away the penalty, and Cook Islands at the 37 will get the chance to get out of trouble. What's Lagan said? Oh, no. What's he said? Oh, yeah. No, fair enough, Jay. Yeah, no, Lagan. Yep, fair enough. So Cook Islands will be 35 metres out. It's very difficult doing a commentary where you just, you know nothing about the South African team. You know nothing about the players. It's so difficult because usually you have things to talk about individually, whether it be about their domestic league or whether it be about their previous campaign or previous games in general. South Africa played a friendly that we had no idea about last week against Niue, and their last game was a year ago, and there is no domestic real. Oh, Cook Islands are through. Cook Islands are through at the 10-5, taken down 3 minutes out here, third tackle. 5 minutes in. 5 minutes in, they go quickly from dummy half. Good defense there, 4 tackle, 2 metres out. Cook Islands can get on the board quickly now. They go out the back to, oh, that was a bad pass. And Brendan Piakura will be taken down to the 15. Fit tackle now. They go out to the right. Last tackle, Isan Masters. He steps, and he'll be taken. No, he gets the offload away. They flick it away. Still live ball. They're at the 20. Isa Mayoka kicks this ball through. Not a great play there from the Cook Islands at all. They had South Africa done, but they just couldn't put the ball over the try line. Sean, there's a few countries in Africa play union, so why not? Well, that's why I'm saying I would love, and this is no disrespect to Cook Islands fans, you know, you guys are going to win this, so basically ignore what I'm about to say. But I would love South Africa to actually, on a side note, win this because it would really open up a pathway to South Africans, who is a major rugby nation, getting behind rugby league in the World Cup next year, and just kind of opening their eyes to it, and then hoping to improve the development systems there and improve the domestic competition. And it's a major population to get amongst, especially considering that they already like rugby union. So it would be very advantageous for them to be up and about, but I just can't see them winning this game. But yeah, pretty much everyone in Africa plays a bit of union. There are much better teams. Like there is Namibia, who is a not a massive nation, but one of the bigger African nations, if not the biggest African nation. Kenya plays quite a bit. Kenya's not great in rugby league. They lost 82 to nil, I think it was, against the South Africans. 4 tackle here for the Cook Islands. It's going to be 35 metres out, even the line. They go out to the right. Isan Masters. Isan Masters goes through, and he'll be taken down to the 20. He's been very selfish in this opening 7 minutes here, Isan Masters. They're 18 metres out. And Makatoa, they give it to Cassius Cowley, and that kick is absolutely awful. It's going to be a 7 tackle set here for the South Africans to the 20. They're making a game of it in the first 7 minutes at the very least. Lagan says, we don't know anything about this South Africa team, so we can't make a judgment on this match. Who knows? They might beat Australia. Yeah, that might be the most ridiculous statement that I've ever heard in my life. So thank you for that. But also, I'm not appreciative that you wasted your time having to read that coming out. First tackle now for the South Africans. They're going to be at the 40. I didn't stream that Australia versus England game last night because 1, I knew the result. 2, the series is over. 3, it would have absolutely wrecked me for an entire day today, being up at 2:30 in the morning to stream. And it just isn't the greatest, brand of footy. We streamed the first 2 games and that was fine, but it just wasn't worthwhile. We got plenty of rugby league action today. There's a knock on from South Africa, and Cook Islands going to get this ball here at the 44. We got plenty of rugby league action today. We already knew the series result there, and it just wasn't worth it for mine to get up that early. And I did put that video out yesterday anyway of the preview for Samoa and New Zealand. And then on Friday, I think I put out about Daly Cherry Evans and his signing with the Roosters. So 32 minutes to go here in the first half. It will be a Cook Islands ball here at the 45 on their own side of the field. There has to be less than 1,000 people in the stadium right now. Straight up, there has to be less than 1,000 people in the stadium right now. All right, first tackle, and Isan Masters is going to run this ball again. He'll be at the 50. It's like he just thinks he's going to break through every single time. Rugby League Ashes was a massive failure. It needed to happen, Logan, but it also was good hit there from South Africa, and Cook Islands will be taking out the 35 third tackle. It needed to happen, and in 2027, I'd assume New Zealand do their trip up there. But yeah, it was very disappointing. It was very disappointing, especially with England, whooping Tonga the last couple of years and Samoa the last couple of years. Right inside here, Paul Olberg, open, try time, Cook Islands. Paul Olberg in the corner will make it a 4-0 game here to the Cook Islands early doors. 10 minutes gone here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. The Cook Islands will take the lead down the right-hand side. Real Fan Sports, what's good, Blaze? Hello, sir. Haven't seen you in a while. How you been getting along? Paul Olberg down in the corner. And the Cook Islands right now, that's all they needed because I cannot see. I just can't see. They've been competitive this first 10 minutes, but it's just not going to happen for South Africa. That's all they need to get the move going, and now they'll get some confidence, and the momentum will drive up now, you would assume. But yeah, the Rugby League Ashes was extremely disappointing, and that's because Australia weren't good and yet still won the series 3-0 and with relative ease. Like, England had plenty of ball. I did watch the game when I woke up this morning. England had plenty of ball and plenty of attacking opportunities this game and the first 2 games, and they just never did anything with it. And Australia were really underwhelming in this tournament. I don't know why. Maybe they're tired from the NRL season, especially with a lot of Broncos there. But it just didn't really make a great deal of sense why Australia was so underwhelming. But yeah, they still won the series 3-0 and with ease. Real Fan Sports says, I've been busy, finally got a job in my career field, so I've been working a bunch. Yeah, good stuff. Love that. Love that. Clebby Wooden says, miss you last night, mate. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about just then. I just didn't want to destroy the entire day, or they're going to miss that kick there from the sidelines. It'll be 4-0 Cook Islands. I don't want to destroy my entire Sunday when we're streaming this game. We're streaming the Samoa versus New Zealand game for a game that ultimately didn't have any ramifications for it. And we all know that the style of footy is not exactly spectacular. So it wasn't. If it was on a normal time slot, obviously I would have done it. But just to be up at 2 a.m. and then stream all the way until about 4:30 a.m. my time here in Fiji for a series that had already finished, style of football from both teams just not spectacular, and we just knew the result. It just wasn't worthwhile, in my opinion. Ibrahim says, at least they're being more competitive than England. Wait, you're saying South Africa? South Africa have actually been quite competitive in this game. But that's what you're going to see early doors. Cook Islands should win this game by 50 plus. They should. They really should. So 11 minutes in, South Africa to kick this ball off from the halfway point. Hey, by the way, Real Fan Sports, just letting you know, Chicago Bulls are the greatest team that has ever existed, and I don't want to hear anything from a Pelicans fan. I don't want you to even think for a second. Actually, you know what? Sorry, I'm going to clarify here. I don't want to hear anything from a Pelicans or a New Orleans Saints fan. How about that? How about the double whammy? How about that? And Cook Islands will be taken down here at the 30 on second tackle. Logan says, and we thought the Australian team was one of the great teams. 2013 Aussie World Cup team would put 70 on them. What was that in 2013? That would have been the likes of Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, Jonathan Thurston. That would have been, geez, the players there. That would have been what? Maybe prime. It was Darius Boyd still prime then? It would have been still prime Darius Boyd, no? Yeah, Greg Inglis. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Mitchell says, too bad the Bulls are losing today. Bulls have never lost a game in their history. Real Fan Sports says, I'm sorry I didn't hear you. You sound like bullshit coming out of your mouth, though. Well, it's funny that you didn't hear me, but it seems like Mitchell heard me there. So it must be something on your end there, maybe your ears. I'm not too sure. Second tackle now for South Africans, and they're going to bring this ball out to the 30 on third tackle. Cry carries says, can you send the link to the live game so I can watch Pro, please? It should have broadcast restrictions. I can't show you the game, and I'm watching it. I pay for VPN and also KO. So I can stream it, and there's a penalty to South Africa. Penalty South Africa there. And while I say that, there is going to be a mess up with my KO. So I told myself I wouldn't, but did an all-nighter. Hold on one second here. Hold on one second. I've got to switch up my VPN because it's decided to run a bit of a muck. But what again, guys? Let me know when we are live again. Sorry, for some reason it's just all been a bit of a mess here because watchnrl.com does not work for some reason on my stream over here in Fiji. But early doors is still 4-0 to the Cook Islands. South Africa showing a little bit of fight. And last we saw, they did receive that penalty to put themselves into a good attacking position. But how their attack going to be? How's their attack? We can hear you now. No, you could hear me the whole time, Real Fan Sports. Yeah. No, you could definitely, specifically you actually, like 100%. I know that out of everybody that's watching, you definitely could hear me the entire time. Yeah, that's a guarantee. Are you still streaming, by the way? I haven't seen your videos popping up on my YouTube. Are you still doing rugby league games this year, or what you been up to? You've been too busy working. All good still. Yeah, sweet. It's been a mess watching New Orleans sports this year. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Like Slater, Morris, Hayne, Inglis, Boyd, Thurston, Cronk, Matty Scott, Cameron Smith, James Tarmer, Greg Bird, Sammy Thaiday, Gallen, DCE, Josh Papali'i, Andrew Fafita, and Corey Parker. What a team in 2013. Yeah, gee whiz. So second tackle or third tackle here for the South Africans at the 48. So I don't know what they did with that penalty, but they didn't go too far with it. Now South Africa are going to be at the 42 on fourth tackle, 15 minutes into the game here. At least they've got a bit of ball in their hands. They'll be out to the 30. 30 metres out. They go to the right, and let's see what this kick can do. Not a great kick, but it's a actionable kick. They do catch the ball in South Africa, and they throw the ball out the back. And I don't know what just happened there, but it's going to be just a changeover. I don't know why they're number 5 here for. Don't know why number 5 for Cook Islands didn't even try to get the ball there, but it's fine. But it is fine. Okay, now I've got to get the NRL.com over here so I can see their team list. Oh, yeah, we haven't done any rugby league since the grand final. We've just been doing NFL and NBA, but have the Ashes in a couple of weeks. Yeah, good. Well, a couple of weeks. Ashes starts on Wednesday, no? Or is it next Wednesday? Or next Friday? Or is it this Friday? No, it might be. I can't remember. It's not too far away, though. Cook Islands on the third tackle at the 45. Completion rate, 86% for Cook Islands. That's really good. And Kale Iro gets away from one tackle and then pushes his way to the 35 and loses the ball. It's going to be a knock on. So South Africa will get the ball from an experienced player like Kale Iro. That's really disappointing stuff. From an experienced player, you can't be having that. But no, that 2013 team is overpowered. 21st, the Ashes start. Oh, 21st. Okay, so Oh, so it's next Friday? Today's the 9th, 7 days with 16th. Yeah, okay, so next Friday, next Thursday, something like that. The real Ashes. Yeah, the only Ashes. They really need to come up with a different name for the rugby league one. It's quite ridiculous. It's like it's not the Ashes. It just isn't the Ashes. But all right, South Africa with the ball here, 35 metres out. They go to the right-hand side. They're going to kick this ball quickly here. There's a chance here. There's a chance here. There's a chance here. Where's the fullback? Where's the fullback here? South Africa can pick the ball up there to 20. They're going to score, South Africa. They're going to lead. Oh, from the scrum. And South Africa out of nowhere have just scored a length of field try. Luke Pereira de Vlieg scores under the post from a scrum at 60 metres out. They kick that ball down deep. He picks it up, and they're going to lead here 6-4 because it's right in front of the post. The South Africans hit. They whack him in the mouth with a great run there from Luke Pereira de Vlieg. And South Africa are going to take the lead. They're showing some fight here. They are showing some fight here in a game no one expected them. Deary me. That's a great pickup too, Paul Olberg. He tried to make a play at him, but just too strong there from the fullback, and they're going to lead. What's happening? What's happening? Oh, a part of the Tweedhead Seagulls on the Gold Coast. Well, that's Titans 4-4 right now. That's Titans 4-4. That's our player. I always knew him. Always been a big fan of Luke Pereira de Vlieg. 100%. Biggest fan that ever existed. I've always known him. Knew that talent he possessed for sure. Yeah, 60 metres out, Sean. 60 metres out, they had a scrum. And then they just pass it to their halfback, who is Cameron Cryer. And then they just kicked the ball down deep. And Luke Pereira de Vlieg was able to pick it up and score. No fullback in. Isom York, I don't know where he was for the Cook Islands, but there was no fullback. And the South Africans, they would have been paying what? They'd been paying like 101 to 1 to win this game, surely. Like, is this game a simple whoever wins makes the World Cup and whoever loses doesn't? I'm pretty certain, yes. Because I'm pretty certain there's only one more spot left. I'm pretty sure there's only one more spot left. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty certain there's only one more spot left. All right, 21 and a half minutes to go here, the first half, and the South Africans lead 6-4. Cook Islands, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Even though that was a fantastic try regardless. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, that was just a fantastic set play from a scrum. We do see a lot of set play scrum tries this year in the NRL. Oh, geez, they've rushed out of the line here. Okay, maybe Cook Islands have woken up now, realising that this shouldn't be happening right now, and that's off the head. But South Africa can still pick this ball up and stay in. Yep, they do, and they'll be at the 18. Well, no, it's not a knock on. Well, no, that's off his head. That was off his head. I can't believe they're calling this a knock on against South Africa. What? It's come off the top of his head. What on earth? How on earth is that called a knock on? In no world that even looked like a knock on. His hands were down by his chest and it hit the top of his head. Real Fan Sports says about shooting the Pels game. I'm so sorry to hear. I'll catch up with you later. Keep grinding, get around it. Good luck. Who are the Pelicans playing? I'm going to have a look. I can't believe that the Cook Islands get this ball here. Who are the Pels playing? The Spurs are Wemby. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Good luck to the old Pelicans in that one. We play the old Cavs today and slap Mitchell's team. All right, so the Cook Islands are going to be 25 minutes away from the line. 20 minutes gone. 20 minutes to go in the first half here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. They go out to the right. Cassius Cowley. And now they'll just punch this ball to the 20 through Pedersen Rabati. Rua Ngati Kaura, he goes out to the left. Cassius Cowley. Cowley goes at himself. He'll be taken down 10 metres away from the line. Falcons are never a knock on. It doesn't make sense, Sean. Like, his hands were down around his chest and it came off the top of his, off the top of his head, and they called it a knock on. And now Cook Islands on the attack. Fit tackle now, 11 metres out. And now they go out to the right. Ngati Kaura, they just run this ball straight the middle. What are they doing? And so that Cook Islands will just get taken down to the 3. Why are you just running that ball straight in the middle? Like, I know David Mwali is a big boy, but South Africa has some big boppers too. And their defense has not been bad so far. We're 21 minutes in and they're leading. This is actually ridiculous, this scoreline right now. It's ridiculous. But it's great to see for the international game. So South Africa will get this ball on second tackle to the 15. And they'll go out to the left. And now they'll bring it to the 20 on third tackle through their back row at Keegan Turner. And they'll be at the 24 on fourth tackle. Fun fact, Rugby League banned South Africa in 1963 due to racial segregation. Didn't play a game of Rugby League until 1992. It's very similar to, I think it's Greece. I think it's Greece who their government actually banned Rugby League for many years. Pretty certain they banned Rugby League for many years. I think it was Greece. And they had to train secretively and all this kind of stuff. But no, I didn't. Oh, there's a one-on-one strip there, but it's going to be a knock-on. Oh, it's going to be a penalty. Oh, I thought it was a one-on-one strip, but they're going to call a penalty for two on the tackle. Around 2 minutes late. Deary me, Brim. You got to get your shit together, son. You got to get it together. Oh, I could hear. I heard like tapping, and then I realised there's actually like drums at the stadium. So penalty to the Cook Islands. How are they still down? They're trying to get a deal done with the NRL to be able to share the games with your viewers on the screen. Right now, they're partnered with the NBA, NFL, Red Zone, and the MLB. Oh, that's the... What's that called? I know of it. My mate, Chicago Bull, Hayes from the Chicago Bulls podcast, we were talking about it earlier in the year. He was saying that if I stream Bulls games, I should put it on. But they're doing it with the NRL, are they? What's the app? What's the website called again? I know of it, but I just can't remember it. So left-hand side, Cook Islands. They're going to run this ball to the 3. Playback, that's the one. Well, they're thinking NRL, are they? Are they really? They go, sure, here's a quick play, and here's a try for the Cook Islands. It will be Davi Mawali, who scores for the Cook Islands to make it 8-6 with a kick to come. It's so wild for a government for it to ban a sport. Yeah, but that back then, like racial segregation and stuff like that was a pretty heavy thing. That's why South Africa and Rugby Union is such a massive thing, because it did bring their country together in 1995. A lot of ways. So can Blaze now show the NBA games on stream? So basically on playback, yes. On playback you can. You can show the NBA game live on the screen. They want to, but they haven't been able to get a deal done yet. But they said they have talked with Fox Sports Australia right now. I'd probably doubt that it's going to happen. Like, American sports are so much more forward in regards to how they operate. The Australian sports are very heavy in regards to protecting their copyright. So I don't know what's going on and what the conversations have been had. For all I know, it could absolutely be going ahead and they could be working out well. But knowing what the NRL is like in regards to their copyrighted footage and their gameplay footage, especially live, I would highly doubt that they'll go with it. Highly doubt it. But I would love it, because then I would just do that and then I'd just transition. Like, I'd still stream here, but tell people they want to watch the game, then playback is where we have it. All right, so they kick the ball through the post, and it is 10-6 to the Cook Islands with 15 minutes to go of the first half. Yeah, it's dope, man. If you're ever interested, just let me know. I can set you up with our guy to get you full partner access and stuff. Yeah, well, if the NRL, if it happens with the NRL, then 100%. If it happens with the NRL, it definitely makes a lot of sense. I just don't know if the NRL would do it. They're going to drive a pretty tough bargain, real hard bargain, man. So I would love to see it though. Steve says, what happened with the Fiji vs PNG final this week? So Steve, that's the thing. We were so confused last week, because at first I was telling everybody for weeks that there was no final. And that there wasn't going to be this promotion relegation game because the World Cup is next year. And, knock on from the Cook Islands. And it will be South Africa get the ball 10 minutes after the line. So at first I knew there was no game. And then it was that Fiji-Papua New Guinea game where they were talking about this being the final group. So on the commentary, the official commentary, this is the final group stage game. And this was the final group stage game. And then Papua New Guinea will be playing the loser of Pacific Cup. But then people in the chat went and looked at to buy tickets, and you could see that there was only 3 games, and it was this game, the Cook Islands versus South Africa. It was the next game, Australia versus New Zealand, and then the women's, and then the men's game, it was New Zealand versus Samoa. So that was the only 3. So then we figured out that, no, there is no promotion relegation game, and it is because probably there's a lot of hard things in regards to next year. And the like, South Africa go quickly here on the left-hand side. They're 8 metres out. They cut it back. South Africa can take back the lead here. So, yeah, look, it's a whole mess. But, no, there was no promotion relegation game this year. And commentary was wrong. And I was originally right and then got persuaded by Persuaded by incorrect commentary. And now South Africa, a second tackle, 15 metres out. Real Fan Sports says, yeah, can't imagine they will either, but I'm no telling we can hope. Oh, for sure we can hope. Massive. Massive. South Africa now 10 metres out on the line, third tackle. But if South Africa win this game, it's absolutely huge. It's huge that they're competing right now. Now, 4 tackle, 2 metres away. Oh, he scored! He has scored a try here. I'm pretty certain he's scored. They're putting him up as a no try. They're saying maybe he loses the ball over the line. This could be a very sneaky play here if he does get this ball down. Number 16 here for South Africa. He'll roll. Oh my gosh, he's got it. That's a try. I don't think he's short there. That's a try for mine. I think this is a try. He's got his hand over the top of it here, hand over the top of it here. He's got his hand over the top of it. I think that's a try. I don't know if the angles are going to show that it actually touches the line, but he does have his fingers on top of it like there. I think that's a try. He's got his finger on it. Let's be interesting. They're just trying to figure out. So they're saying it's not a knock on by the time the ball hits the ground. I don't know if they're going to be able to turn it. Here we go. Will it show it? Oh, that's a try. Oh, I don't know about that. I couldn't see. I don't know about that. I thought that was a try. Oh, that is a rough call against South Africa. I definitely thought they scored that. If the on-field referee called it a try, that's a try. I thought that was a try anyway. I thought there was enough evidence. You could see that his fingers were still on top of it in the awkward angle. His fingers were still just on top of it for downward pressure. And I think this angle showed that it does touch the line. And I thought that angle showed that it probably touches the line. So this one's showing it does. That one's showing it probably. I think it should have been a try. But anyway, it's going to be Cook Islands ball here, and now they're 15 metres out. They get very lucky. They're very, very lucky. Cook Islands. First tackle now for them at 15. And now Paul Olberg, he'll get this ball to the 25 on second tackle. South Africa's physicality in this game is actually really impressive. The tennis says, just give it to him, Bunker. Well, they took it away from him, but either way, this has been an impressive showing in the first 27 minutes. Mason Teague has moved into a middle forward role now. He's at the 40 on fourth tackle. So if they put into the number 9 then? Oh, Ngatakara. And now they're at the 45 on fifth tackle. Is today going to be a full house? Yeah, the main game will be a full house. It's very empty right now in the stadium, but the main game will definitely be a full house, you would assume, between New Zealand and Samoa, and especially with Australia versus New Zealand in the women's game right beforehand as well. There should be. I don't know if it's sold out, though. I'm just expecting it. I haven't seen anything to say that it actually is. I'm not 100% sure. And now the Cook Islands, they're on the back foot. South Africa are going to get the ball here to the 40 on third tackle. Yeah, South Africa's defence has been a real standout here. This is an impressive match from them. Even if they lose, this is impressive. Fourth tackle at the 45. They should not be within cooee of this game. They lost to Niue in a friendly last week. Niue. We were talking about Niue the other week, Lagan, on the streams. Oh, jeez, and there's the physicality right there in the hit, and they're 13 metres away here from their own line here. Cook Islands on first tackle. I think that's how they're keeping themselves in this game with the physicality battle. Because look at their forwards. They are boppers. We were talking about Niue and how they don't have any players the other week, and South Africa lost to them last week, 34-28. Again, though, I did say that I feel like, if anything, you'll see South Africa fall away in the last 20. But fourth tackle, the Cook Islands are only there 35 and now at the 40. Great defensive set again from South Africa. Great defensive set again. And now they'll kick this ball from the 40. Not a good kick at all there from the Cook Islands. And South Africa will pick this ball up at the 30. And they'll take it out to the 35. Not a great kick there at all. And South Africa have got probably better of the ball currently. But possession-wise, it is 54% possession to the Cook Islands, 46% possession to South Africa. Second tackle now at the 40. And they go out to the left. Now back up the middle, and they'll be at the 45 on third tackle. Field position is in South Africa's favour as we currently speak. Short into the line, and now they're going to be... Oh, they get the ball offload at the back. South Africa still with the ball. Not much play movement here. And then they'll just get taken down to the 48 for tackle. Kale Iro, we all know he's going to be winning that one-on-one battle there. They didn't make a good deal of meters on those last couple of tackles. The first 3 tackles were pretty good, though. Now out to the right-hand side, and Cameron Cryer kicks that one down into the corner, and Cook Islands pick it up through Isoma Yorker at the 5. And, oh my goodness me, that's a whack. He takes him back to the 8. He just gets up underneath the ball and just drives him back about 5 meters. Look at the physicality. They're lucky not to get a penalty here, South Africa. You can see they're very physical, and they're really up and at him. They've got a lot of... Oh, they're going to call penalty. There you go. There you go. I did call it coming. The intent is there. The passion of physicality is there, but it just got a little bit too physical, and they've hit him high there for a high tackle. I knew that was coming. I did know it was coming. Yeah, they really were coming off their line really, really fast there. And unfortunately, there's a bit of bleeding from the mouth here for... Is it Iso? No, I'm not too sure who that is. I can't see who it is. Well, this is a fun game. I wasn't expecting this to be a fun game. There is play down for injury right now, which is why we're just waiting. 10 minutes to go here in the first half, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Definitely wasn't expecting this to be as fun of a game as it is so far. This was expected to be a blowout from the start. But I did say South Africa probably die in the last 20, which is what Cook Islands did when they took on... and he goes to the bin. He is off to the bin. He is off to the bin here for Aiden Perry of South Africa. They will be down a man for the next 10 minutes, and surely Cook Islands put a score past them now. Surely you would expect them to score at the very least 2 tries here, but South Africa's defense has been pretty good. Brent Neslick says, "Sup, Blaze, how does South Africa come into the comp?" This isn't the comp, this is a World Cup qualifier. So whoever wins this game will be in the World Cup next year. So we've already got Australia qualified, obviously. England, Samoa, New Zealand, Tonga. There's only 10 teams. So Australia, England, New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, Papua New Guinea. I'm pretty certain France qualified too, and Lebanon. So I think it just comes down to who wins this game here between the Cook Islands and South Africa, which you would assume is the Cook Islands, but South Africa have been very, very strong for a team that should not be in consideration in this game. They really shouldn't be. So first tackle now, they go to the right. And now it'll be second tackle at the 45 for the Cook Islands. 10 minutes to go the first half. Out the back. Here's Masters. There's a player taken out without the ball there from South Africa. But with third tackle now for the Cook Islands at the 37 on South Africa's side of the field. They go to the short side. They go quickly. And Ruben Rennie will be taken out the 30 on fifth tackle. Gotcha. World Cup, not Pacific Champs. No, this is just there because later on today is the Samoa vs New Zealand game, which we'll be live for. But this has nothing to do with this game here. The Pacific Bowl is completely finished, and the Pacific Cup obviously is on later today. That's just the standings from what we saw in the, because there's nothing else to really put on that side of the screen. Otherwise, out of the left, get the ball offloaded, intercept by South Africa, and take it down to the 25. Decent defense again. Again, they're down by a man right now. They're a man down, and they're still defending quite well here, the Saffers. Second tackle. And they'll go right up through the centre. Probably should have been offside there, and it is offside. It is offside / not square at marker from Mason Teague, and South Africa are going to get the ball inside the attacking half. By the way, Brenton, I'm getting increasingly more scared and concerned that you guys are playing Mr. Dylan Brown in the halfback. I'm getting really increasingly nervous, mate. I'm getting nervous, Brenton. Don't do it. Please don't do it, son. And also, who's going to be your 5'8"? Is it going to be Fletcher or is it going to be Sando? I don't know. First tackle now. So they go out to the left, and that's Cameron Cry. They've got numbers here. They've got numbers. They've got space. 3 on 2. They get out to the wing. He'll cut back into the centre, and they'll be 15 metres out from the line. Second tackle. Hold on. Ruben Rennie and Masters bring him down. They go back to the right. South Africa are on the roll here. They've got some momentum. They're 10 metres away from the line. Third tackle. 8 minutes to go here. Down a man. Down a man right now. Out to the right. Cameron Cryer. Here we go. Here's a chance. And they're 8 metres out from the line. Fourth tackle. Go short. Quick play. And good defence there from the Cook Islands. Keegan Turner. 4 metres out from the line. Fifth tackle. Surely they don't score here with a man down. They go out to the left. Cameron Cry kicks that ball up. It's a good kick. Good area. Oh, no. He's lost the ball. Oh, he might have scored. Oh, he's celebrating. He is celebrating. But this, I don't know. They're going up for the bunker. They're going to say no try, double movement. We're just going to look at the bunker here. They're onside from the kick chase, but is it a double movement here? Goes up. I don't know what Mason Teague's defense was there. He's got the ball there. And yeah, no, this is going to be no try. Oh, held up anyway. They held up anyway. Oh, well, no, you don't say he loses possession. If you want to say the double movement, he doesn't lose possession there. Yeah, you can understand why he's celebrating. Like, they're not going to call double movement. They're going to say he loses possession. So it actually comes out better than a penalty. But I don't think that he lost the ball there. I feel like there's been a couple of really harsh decisions against South Africa today. I feel like there's been a couple of harsh decisions. Like, this is like, I would say double movement. I wouldn't say knock on, though. So it's like, if you, sure, give Cook Islands the penalty, that's probably more deserved. But to say that it wasn't a double movement and it's just a knock on is wild to me. I feel like Cook Islands has either been harshly done by there or South Africa has been harshly done by. But I'd say probably more so the Cook Islands, because I think that probably was a double movement. Brendan says Holbrook likes to be seeing the preseason of the young fellas. Yeah, every coach is going to say that, though. Garth Brennan said that back in 2017. Yeah, Sandon would be good in the halves, but I'd put Fletch there for a bit. What was the point? Is Sandon just like a backup? How many hours do you still have at the club? They get this ball here through Luke Pereira to Fleeg, and he'll bring it out now to the 25. 7 minutes to go the first half. How have the Cook Islands not scored with a man advantage? I'm telling you, South Africa would have been paying like 100 to 1 to win this game. If one of the legitimate, probably 51 to 1 or 10 to 1. Maybe. I'm trying to figure out what this actually odds would be. A really heavy underdog in the NRL is usually about 11 to 1. This would have been even less than that, as in more. It probably would have been like 20 to 1, surely. It would have been a big margin. Fourth tackle here for South Africa at the 40. There's no way that was forward. People calling forward, no way. Fifth tackle at the halfway point. What's your thoughts on May John spine of the club? Looking forward to seeing what the changes can happen. Still reserved, though. And kick from Cry down to the corner, 20 metres out. Now South Africa on the back foot as Cook Islands. Kale Ero brings it out to the 30. Good run. Slapper says, that Pom Oz game last night was so shit. Harry Grant was named player of the match like 10 minutes before it was over. Come on, the Cook Islands. Yeah, Slapper, that's why I didn't stream it, man. You know, although I'm very consistent here on the channel and I just consistently stream and I'm always doing games, I just felt there was no point to it. It would have wrecked my entire Sunday when we're streaming 2 games Rugby League anyway. We've got a big game in New Zealand Samoa later. It was 2:30 a.m. Wouldn't have finished till 4:30 in the morning. It would have been a shit game, which it was, and we already knew the series result. And we already knew the result of the game. There just wasn't much point for me getting up for it. And you know, from what I saw this morning, when I did wake up for it, it wasn't spectacular. Fourth tackle now. England's attack is so dire, dude. So dire. Cook Islands are at the 23. They offload the ball. Here's a chance. They got numbers. Oh, good tackle by the number 6 for South Africa. Now they go right, and here is a try. Finally, they score. I tell you what, though, this has been a horrific performance in a lot of ways from the Cook Islands, but they will score here. Like, there is just so much selfishness about some of these players. If you pass the ball, you get a try. If you like Isan Masters, who scored the try here, so many times you've seen massive openings, but he's decided to run it himself. And it's like, here, pass the ball back onto the inside. There's so many opportunities here for the Cook Islands to score, but it's taking them that extra step. And the only reason they have scored here is because they've got that extra man advantage, which is taking them a while to actually, capitalise on. I need to see Cook Islands really run away with this game. I need to see them run away with this game because right now there's still a lot left to be decided. NJ Future says, hey, would you live stream on Kick? I do YouTube, man. But due to broadcasting restrictions, you can't even show it on Kick either. You can't even show it over there either. But it is 14-6. The Cook Islands have 4 minutes to go here the first half. Oh, AJ Brimo got injured last night. Bad shoulder injury for England. Yeah, a couple of 50-50 calls gone against... South Africa have gone over the line a couple of times. Someone also says, totally agree with you. Coach used to give him a boot up the arse. They've been like that all series. Well, the thing is, though, is that I was actually impressed by the Cook Islands in the Pacific Bowl, man. I was impressed by them. Against Papua New Guinea, they only, for mine, lost by 6. Yes, there was a lot of errors in that game. Papua New Guinea were quite awful as well. But they will miss the kick here, so we'll say 14-6 to Cook Islands, 3 minutes to go. But overall, the Cook Islands had no expectations. Papua New Guinea had high expectations, so they met in the middle, which is a pro for the Cook Islands and a con for Papua New Guinea. And in the Fiji and Cook Islands game, Fiji had high expectations and the Cook Islands had no expectations. And then whilst Fiji they weren't down in the middle, they were just a little bit above, Cook Islands did hold their own and still scored 24 points, which is a pro for the Cook Islands and a con for Fiji still. So I took a lot of positivity out of the Cook Islands performance in that Pacific Bowl. But in this game here, they should be winning this game by a dramatic amount. And like I said, in the last 20 minutes, I think they should run away with this game. But there has been, unfortunately, a lot of selfishness in a lot of the plays here today. It's like they have come in, like I said before the game started, it's like the Cook Islands have come in here with the expectation of a win. We as fans can have that thought process, and we as viewers of the game can have that thought process, but players can't have that thought process. Otherwise, it will be a more competitive game than it should be, and sometimes you can lose. Well, South Africa have been quite unlucky to not have received definitely one try I would have called a try. The second one I probably would have said is a penalty for double movement against South Africa. But the first try would have taken the lead to make it 12-10. They've been quite unlucky in a couple of ways here today, South Africa. Sean says, what the fuck is Kick? It's like another Twitch, YouTube streaming service. I think that's what my boy Fareed does. I think that's what Hectic Fred does. For tackle. But he even got done for showing the games live, I'm pretty certain. So they go out to the right to Isan Masters, and yet again, another run to the 38. Fair tackle. And Cassius Cowley puts that one up to about the 13. That's a knock on there. That's a penalty against the South Africans because that is offside. That is offside. At halftime, I'm going to go grab another Coke Zero. Yes, sir. And there's not even a Jay Hayes in the world that can stop me. No way. No damn well way. Heebie-jeebie says, being kooky, I'm gutted for my team. There's a big divide between Tonga, Samoa, then Fiji and Papua New Guinea. Cook Islands are distant from those groups. Yeah, I'll acknowledge that. There is a massive divide. I would say that, Tonga and Samoa are clearly on their own level. And then Papua New Guinea and Fiji are on their similar level. But it's hard because Fiji always lose to Papua New Guinea, but Fiji are a better team internationally than Papua New Guinea. When Fiji plays Tonga or New Zealand or even Australia or Samoa, they perform better against those teams. But when they play Papua New Guinea, for some reason, they always lose to them. And Cook Islands are going to score a try, and they will make it 18-6 with the hit to come. Good work there for the Cook Islands. And that's what they should have been doing with the man in the bin. So, look, and then the Cook Islands, this is the thing. I don't think you should be gutted, right? Because the Cook Islands are pretty much a brand new team on a structural level, developmental level, and over time we will see more plays ultimately lean to going there once they don't get to pick for other teams. but we will see development there. This is in the very early stages. So Fiji have kind of always been there or thereabouts. Papua New Guinea have been there or thereabouts. Cook Islands right now are where, Samoa and Tonga were 15 years ago. People forget, Samoa and Tonga used to be awful. They used to be really poor. They never used to be great. The only teams competitively were Australia, New Zealand, Great Britain, Fiji, these kind of teams. And then we have seen the development of Samoa and Tonga from their players returning, some players going and playing for their heritage and their cultural heritage, right? So I don't want you to be gutted and disappointed for where the Cook Islands are at right now. If we're looking in 10 years' time, if we're chatting in 2035 and Cook Islands are still performing to this level, then it's a concern for sure. It's something that you should be gutted about and disappointed about with the gap. But if they just need to, they've got 10 years here on that time frame to improve and be amongst, some mainstays, because there is a lot more emphasis in the international game. And there's going to be a video on the channel this week, guys, probably tomorrow, where I believe the international season has to change and adapt differently, because right now the Pacific Cup, Pacific Bowl thing is quite repetitive and doesn't really make a great deal of sense, especially with no promotion relegation, and even the promotion relegation, there is that clear gap and whatnot. Cook Islands will get the kick and it will be 20-6 to the Cook Islands with 6 seconds to go the first half. Point is that there is a gap, but it's too early to be criticising Cook Islands. Yeah, for mine, it's too early. Solid Hostel says we need a decent half combination. Yeah, but this is the problem with most island teams. So half-time here, guys, 26 to the Cook Islands over South Africa. South Africa showed good fight, but then got a bin and a couple of unlucky calls, to be fair. But 26 to the Cook Islands. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'm going to reply to a couple of these comments. Then I'm going to grab a Coke Zero, go to the bathroom, come back, read through the half-time stats, and the second half will start. What was I saying? Oh, we need a decent half combination. Well, who has had a decent halves combination in any island team? New Zealand, sure, but they're a tier 1 nation. Outside of that, it took Samoa many years to get to Jerome Luai and Blaze Talangi, which is not a guaranteed halves pairing, mind you. Jerome Luai sure on the 7, but it's not at least it's a better halves combination, sure. But it took many years to get to a level like that. And then now we've seen the problem with what Tonga's got. It's always the halves. Tonga's got a great team, but the halves are Saikatoa and who's the Tongan 5'8"? Isaiah Yongi, is it? No, is it Yongi? Hold on. It's Isaiah Yongi. He's a Tonga 5'8". No, or am I thinking? Or is Isaiah Yongi? Is he the Samoan 5? Oh, geez, why am I getting confused right now? Hold on. I'm going to go click over to NRL.com and get this up. My brain is not braining as we currently speak. But anyway, long story short, and we'll get to this in a second. Long story short, every single island country, the biggest problem has always been the halves, because Papua New Guinea have some good forwards. Their backline's okay, but they have some good forwards. Fiji have always had a great backline, not great halves, and then okay forwards. But the key issue is still no halves there. And then you've got Tonga and Samoa who have had no halves. The problem with the island nations is, yes, their half situation. And if those countries who have a massive gap, as we've just been speaking about, have a problem with their halves, well, then Cook Islands are going to be at a much lesser stage, because also, if there is a player currently speaking who is eligible to play for the Cook Islands or to play for Fiji, I guarantee they select Fiji on a quality level. If they are a Cook Islander and Tonga/Samoa, they'll choose one of those two teams. If they are Cook Island and Papua New Guinea, they'll choose that team. So that's an unfortunate thing right now, is that even the teams, even a team like the Cook Islands will struggle to get the filter downs that we see from New Zealand and Australia because of the eligibility to other nations that are more progressive than them too. That's the biggest difficulty as we currently speak. Polynesian Media says, Cook Islands once the powerhouse of the Pacific, but have fallen short in the last 10 years. Oh, were they once the powerhouse of the Pacific? How long ago was this? How long ago? I know that Samoa and Tonga used to be awful, and I would say the Fijians would have been the powerhouse of the Pacific, no? But then again, this is probably going back either before my time or very early in my time. But it would have been Fiji, no? Who were the powerhouse of the Pacific? If all the players return back to the Cookies who are playing for Oz and New Zealand, might make a difference. But who's eligible? So you've got Valentine Holmes. And also, I want to really clarify when I say this too. A player who plays for Australia is not any less Australian than me. And it does not mean that they're a traitor because they play for Australia over, say, the Cook Islands. If they choose to play for the cultural heritage of the Cook Islands, then great. But just because a lot of people, not necessarily you, but just a lot of people in general have this really heavy criticism. Like, if you are your mother or your father or whatnot, say, is from the Cook Islands, and you were born, raised, developed, and grew up your entire life in, let's say, Wagga Wagga in Australia, but you were raised with the parent, like one parent being from the Cook Islands. For some reason, a lot of people, and this isn't just Cook Islands, this is Samoa, Tonga, very heavily those two teams, more so those two teams, but for some reason, people believe that they must play for that island team. Otherwise, they're a traitor to that island team. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, for example, Tino next year probably will link up with Samoa, especially if they win today. But he will probably, I would assume, link up with Samoa. But him playing for Australia now does not mean that he's a traitor to Samoa when he was born, raised, and grew up here in Australia. But a lot of people have this criticism. It's really weird. It's a really weird thought process. Yeah, the Cooks and Fiji Bati. I knew the Fiji Bati were. Jimmy said Xavier Willison. Yeah, well, Nick Rapana. Well, Rapana's done. He's retired. Joseph Suwaliki's not even in the game anymore, but sure. Nickel Klukstad. Okay. I don't think that changes much. Nicarima, also don't think that changes much, but I get your point. Xavier Wilson's a huge one, though. Nicarima. Well, he could play, couldn't he? Because he doesn't get any game time for New Zealand. He's New Zealand, no? Yeah. Jerome Hughes is a kooky, and Isai Katoa is also... See, this is where it gets difficult. It gets really difficult because it's like you're never going to get Jerome Hughes. Like it's just never going to happen. But also, who's to say that Cook Islands should have him when he does represent more so New Zealand? You know what I'm saying? What if he believes it's a really difficult conversation. Really, Tasmans and Springboks on top. They've actually been pretty good today, the South Africans, but they just fell apart late. There are so many, but opt to get paid. Yeah, but it's not even necessarily that they opt to get paid. Sure, okay, I will take it and acknowledge it that they do get paid a lot more for Australia or New Zealand or whatnot than they do for the Cook Islands. But that doesn't also mean that it doesn't mean that it's 100% about that too. Like, for example, if someone is born, raised in Brisbane, but they've got like Samoa, New Zealander heritage, well, they might genuinely believe that, well, they are Australian. You know, they're just as Australian as they are the heritage and cultural of Samoa and Tonga. So who's to say, why is it that it's only about money for them? What if they genuinely attribute themselves as Australian? Like, is there a problem with that? Like, that's why I don't see a problem, because that's their choice. Yes, money could be a factor, but also, what else do you want to do about it? Jimmy says, players starting or ending their careers tend to play for island teams to get that foot in the door. Stoked for Tamalolo and Fafita for what they did. Yeah, that was huge. Changed the game in the Penrith boys. Yeah, what Fafita and Tamalolo did changed the game completely. Like, just absolutely dramatically changed the game. The game wouldn't be like this today at all if they didn't do that. It was a big, bold move to make, and obviously 2017 was huge. It was a friendly, and it hasn't happened outside of a friendly with Tonga and Australia. But, yes, that was a really necessary thing to do. The only issue is that it does make it highly more competitive when these players do switch. I actually think that Samoa and New Zealand this year, form-wise, probably beat Australia, to be fair. And that's inclusive of Samoa. Papali'i said he would play for the Cooks if he didn't make tour with Samoa. And see, that's the thing. You're not really getting paid that much to play for Samoa. But he attributes himself more to Samoa than the Cook Islands. So it's like, we accept that, but people can't accept the Australia one because of the money factor, which I get, but also it's like, if you can accept that one, well, it's weird not to accept that one. I get there's money here, but we have to be able to accept both of them. And I am definitely an advocate for growing the game even further, but also I just feel like it's very unfair to criticize players for a choice when they're getting selected for a team that's probably going to win as well. And so you can play, okay, you're Australian and Papua New Guinea. I guarantee, Australia and who's a good example here? The point is that not only are you getting paid, but you're also winning. So that's why you're probably going to see maybe switch-ups in the future with Tina, who's already gotten paid, and then can also win with Samoa. It's such a difficult conversation. Cookies need the money for after-match beverages. Tiana, wait a minute, I'm in Fiji right now. I get it. Largan says, if Samoa win today, they should be considered for a Tier 1 nation. Did you watch my video yesterday, Largan? I put a video out on the channel yesterday, my full preview. Well, there's a gap. I'm not going to stream the women's game. So there's a gap between this game and the main game, the New Zealand vs Samoa game. Then I'll stream that one. You can go and watch my full preview for today's game, because I did speak about that. I did say that it's not about the Tier 1 nation, because Tier 1 nations are not about results. It's not like Rugby Union. It's not a results-based system. It is completely about development systems and grassroots and financials within countries. So even if Samoa was to win today and win the Pacific Cup, and then if Samoa went on to win the World Cup next year, they actually still wouldn't qualify to be a Tier 1 nation. But what I was saying on yesterday's video is that the system needs to be adjusted, because it's super weird to see a Tier 2 team, Tier 2 nation, beating out Tier 1 nations. Because let's remember, despite the fact they lost to England last year in their games, they did beat England in the Rugby League World Cup semi-final of 2021, and they also did beat, say, New Zealand today. And then if they won the World Cup, then they're consistently up there. So it would be really unfair and weird to say, well, this is a Tier 2 nation, but the two teams that they've already beaten in England and New Zealand, they are Tier 1 nations. So this team is lesser than them, despite the fact that they're the current World Cup holders and the Pacific Cup holders, and they've beaten them recently. So it would be very difficult. That's why I think it would force a rethink if they won today. It would force a rethink of how to adjust how the tiering systems work. And I could easily see us go to, there's not enough international games, but it would be nice to actually go to a power ranking system, effectively, where, like Rugby Union, where it is results based. But then again, Rugby Union has a significant amount more games, and they have a significant amount more teams that are at a high competitive level. Hibby Chibby says, spoke to a Safa about why they don't embrace league. South Africa excel and dominate union. They have talent, population, and money to do it. Think they are sleeping giants. I said this before. He replied, league isn't big enough. Sure, but they are sleeping giants, and the international game is growing significantly. Peter V'landers has really taken the steps to improve in this game internationally, and we're seeing Vegas, obviously, as a mainstayer. And we're also seeing 2027, they're talking about taking the round one across the world to south of France, to England, to Hong Kong, to Singapore, to Vegas, like I said, to Miami, to potentially Hawaii. But they're talking about taking the game internationally. So whilst it is asleep, it is a lot lesser now. I'm telling you, Rugby League could absolutely expand onto the global market with the current rate that it's going. Absolutely. And I think that South Africa are a sleeping giant. I do think they have the population and the ability to do it. And that's why I would have actually, and this is no offense to Cook Islanders, I would have loved South Africa to win this game today, because it really would have set up a foundation for them to get a look in next year. Even though they would have been pumped, it would have been a look in, and with the rate the game was growing internationally. Like, AFL criticises the NRL for its stadium attendance, but the NRL shits on it internally, domestically, for viewership over the AFL, and then that's not even including the international viewership. So you've got Papua New Guinea, you've got New Zealand, you've got Samoa, you've got Tonga, you've got Fiji, you've also got New Zealand, you've got all the islands there. You've got, it would be absolutely massive. And I see on my viewership, my analytics and statistics, our American viewership went up about 10% this year. Like 10%, and it's at an awful time zone. So the point is that whilst it is small internationally now, it is absolutely growing. Terranatua says, how much time left? There's 40 minutes left. It's halftime right now. Actually, I'm going to run up to the bathroom here. They're about to come out into the field for the second half. I'm going to run up to the bathroom, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, keep commenting in the chat. I'll be back in 2 seconds. we're back. And we're back. Olivia also back. Get around you, Olivia. Olivia comes in with a bang with a $14, $15 Aitu donation. And she says, another day, another donation. 96 days until the UK. I need a good puffer jacket recommendations. Yes, you would, actually. Yeah, you definitely would. I would recommend just probably buying it there, to be fair, because their jackets are prepared for their weather. That's what I did with Chicago. When I went and lived in Chicago, when I was in Lake Louise, Alberta, in Canada and whatnot, in Vancouver, I bought my stuff there because the jumpers and jackets are prepared for their cold, whilst Australian jackets, especially you in Brisbane, is not the jackets prepared for their cold. So I would probably do it there, but it depends on your financials. You probably could find something cheaper here, but overall, if you want the quality prepared for their weather, then I'd probably buy it there. But anyway, second half, thank you very much for your donation. Second half has started here, guys. Cook Islands will receive the ball here at the 15. It's East Yorker taken out to the 22. Polynesian Media says so many elite players have Cook Islands heritage in them. Absolutely. You'll probably find that with most islands too. Well, it's like, look, here's another example. Mark Nawaniktawase, he did say that if he didn't get selected for Australia, that he would play for Fiji. And I would have loved for him to play for Fiji. He's obviously going to rugby union very, very soon. Question for people. Is Nawaniktawase eligible to play for the Rugby League World Cup next year? Because does his NRL contract end at the end? It would end at the end of the NRL season, so he wouldn't actually be eligible to play the Rugby League World Cup, would he? I think he'd be eligible to play for the Wallabies. Not next 2027 is the World Cup for rugby union. Fit tackle of the Cook Islands at 35. But I don't think he's eligible for the Rugby League World Cup next year, is he? Here we go. Jay has removed the comment. Let me just assume I'm going to open up the view deleted message. Let me just see. I guarantee it's about the Dolphins. Oh, for gosh sake. Wasn't about the Dolphins, but it was also an extremely random comment. But at least it wasn't about the Dolphins. Do you like tennis? I do like tennis, but I don't watch it much. But I do like tennis. I used to play tennis. 4 tackle now for South Africa. They'll be at the 30 on their own side of the field. Down by 14 points. They're not going to win this game, but I was impressed by their first 30 minutes of this game. Is that 420? Oh, bounces badly, and it'll go around the 25. Miss Townsend, yeah, Polynesian Media. I saw a video on YouTube. Can't remember the YouTuber's name, but he made a lineup for a Cook Islands team with all the players who have Cook Island heritage. I'll check and see ChatGPT. ChatGPT isn't exactly reliable for this kind. Ooh, geez, I just opened some random website. ChatGPT, it's not necessarily reliable for this kind of stuff because it's very difficult to find this rugby league wise. What NRL players are eligible for Cook Islands Rugby League? I guarantee you won't have a clue. The Cook Islands Rugby League team. No. Cameron Munster has Cook Islands heritage, by the way. Munster has... Oh, there's going to be a mistake there from the Cook Islands and South Africa get the ball. So, NRL players of Cook Islands descent. Cameron Munster from the Storm. While he's been known for playing for Australia, Munster has Cook Islands ancestry on his mother's side, making him eligible for the Cook Islands team if he ever chose to represent them instead. Never happening, but fair enough. Isaiah Papali'i from the Penrith Panthers. He is of Cook Islands heritage and has played for New Zealand. But if he chose, he could potentially switch to the Cook Islands since he has strong heritage links. Joey Manu, not in the game anymore, but he was. Sean Johnson did. Johnson represented New Zealand. He's of Cook Islands descent. Jordan Rapana. David Fusatua back in the day as well. Did Fusatua ever play? No, I think he just played New Zealand, didn't he? That's funny in regards to Cameron Munster, though. That is quite funny. I never would have expected that. It's just giving me the same players when I ask for more. Yeah, Jerome Hughes. Sammy Lazzoni, who is now across in the Super League. All right, so it's second tackle here for South Africa at the 35. They go to the right, Cameron Cryer, and now they'll be 33 metres out, third tackle. The winner of this game goes to the World Cup? Yes. Yes, this is the last spot for the World Cup. You've already got Australia, England, New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga, penalty, South Africa. Australia, New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga, Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Lebanon, England, France, and winner of this game. Cameron Munster isn't Cookie. Don't believe that bullshit. Well, it says through his mother's ancestry. Cook Islanders in the chat. Can you tell us whether that's right or wrong? I don't know. That's what ChatGPT said, mate. What do you want me to do? I don't know. That's just what I was reading. Second tackle in South Africa at the 20. And they'll go out to go up to the middle here. Good offload. And they're going to be 5 metres out for the line in South Africa. They're pushing. Third tackle. Third tackle. This number 16 for South Africa is actually a real strong runner of the ball. At the back. They got numbers galore. Oh, too slow of a pass. And they'll be 4 metres out from the line. Fourth tackle. Fourth tackle. Out across. Nothing happening here. They keep spreading it. They keep spreading it. They kick this ball through. Chancey, where's the ball? And Cook Islands get the ball to 5. Cook Islands get the ball to 5. Olivia Solson and Everton jersey. Yes, you do. Because you would be banned from this channel if you wore a United jersey to that game. Yes, you damn well do. Mr. Talent says Nickel Crookstad fullback, Joseph Suwali'i and Stephen Masters on the wing. Centers are Joe Manu and Kyle Iro, 5'8", and Sai Katoa, 7. Well, technically you should be including Munster. Technically. Jerome Hughes, the halfback, Josh Papali'i and Francis Molo, front row, 9, Kutnik Rima, back row, Brendan Pikurma, Nia Kure, and 13, Tapani knock on there from Cook Islands. South Africa get the ball again at the 35. Cook Islands are welcoming them back into this game. They are welcoming them back into this game. I wanted to message Munster and said, what do you want me to do? But like, that's a decent enough team there, Mr. Talent. That's probably putting them, that kind of team would put them onto the same level for mine as maybe just behind Samoa and Tonga. I think that'd put them just behind Samoa and Tonga. We've already banned one United fan today. Good. Good. It's the rules here. It's the rules of life, actually. It's the rules of life. All right, so South Africa, 35 metres away from the Cook Islands line. They go out to the right, and it's going to be Luke Pereira de Vries. If he missed his try in the first try for South Africa of this game, it was actually really good. It was a really good scrum try from 60 metres out for South Africa if you missed that one earlier on. I think ChatGPT is getting mixed up with Jerome Hughes. Well, it says Jerome Hughes and Munster. It had Munster and Jerome Hughes. I don't know. It said Munster. Someone can maybe Google it. Out quickly. Good hit there. Good defensive hit from Cook Islands. Will be third tackled out to 25. 33 minutes to go here in the game. And right back up the middle through to 16. I actually like the look of this 16. He's not going to be NRL level, but like 16. Ashley Bull. Gee, he is like a bull when he runs the ball. They go to the left. Cameron Cryer. Here we go. His numbers. Good run. And they'll be taken down to the 8. Good defense after the Cook Islands. And no, it was not good defense. It's a penalty for offside. Penalty for offside against Isan Masters. So South Africa will be 10 metres out from the line and still just peppering the line. Like I said, South Africa come back and coming. Like the entire Pacific Bowl, you were telling us that Cook Islands are going to win every Pacific Bowl game by 13 plus. And now you're going against the Cook Islanders. What's wrong with you? What are you doing? What are you? Oh, this going to be a try here? Maybe? No. Wow, they just got held short. It's going to be a penalty again to South Africa. Standing in no man's land. Well, if he's standing in no man's land, he's just prevented a try. Arguably, professional foul. Let me read. So I don't know anything about football, so I'm just going for the experience. Okay, basically, team in red shirt, bad. Team in blue shirt, good. Oh, Raging Bull. Nearly got there. Ashley Bull, 2 metres out from the line. South Africa, they go out the back to Cameron Cryer. Cryer now. Thomas kicks it through. Not the play there. Not the play at all, but it is going to be a dropout. No, it's not. Paul Olberg might get out. Paul Olberg might get out. He might get out. He might get out. He might get out. He did get out. That's really good stuff there from him. He has made it back. Oh, he's lost the ball. And now he's claiming. Oh, no, he's being touched in goal. Touched in goal there, so it will be a dropout. Geez, the pressure from South Africa is really good, though. Just to remind everyone, no one expected this game to be even remotely within Kui at any stage. At any stage. It shouldn't be. Lagan says, because South Africa is a powerhouse team. You are a powerhouse clown. That's what you are. That is what you are. Oh, draw is released end of this week, apparently. Now, apparently the NRL draw is coming out end of this week. Ooh. Dasman says, by team in blue shirt, he means Chelsea. No. Dark blue, no. Dark blue, no. Sky blue? Now we're talking. Olivia, I reckon you should actually just rock up in a Manchester City jersey. I reckon you should rock up in a Manchester City jersey. Sean says red means the Gunners. How did they lose to Sunderland today? How did they lose to Sunderland? This is going to be a high contact. This is going to be a penalty to Cook Islands, I reckon. There should be a penalty, I would assume. Contact ahead. It might be accidental, but it is still a penalty, you would assume. Still 31 minutes to go. Oh, they're playing a bit of Waka Waka in the crowd right now. Jeez, we've got some big year. We've got a big year next year. Rugby League World Cup. We've got the FIFA World Cup in America. Rugby Union's in 2027. Yeah, Olberg's going to have to come off for about 15 minutes. Wait, are they not calling this a penalty? They didn't call that a penalty, by the way. How on earth is that not a penalty? It was high contact. Regardless of mitigation, accidental, it's still high contact. Just see Lee's profile and I'm wondering what that is. Don't even look at it. It'll give you a heart attack. It's great catch on the Cook Islands on the short dropout, and that's probably ball don't lie there. That is ball don't lie. Cook Islands now bring it out to the 25 on second tackle. Dante says, rock up on a City jersey, but make sure you bring a United jersey just in case there's no toilet paper at the ground. Well, it is apparently at not Goodison. Still getting used to it. Hill Dickinson Stadium. Not Old Trafford, because that whole stadium is a toilet. The whole stadium. Now Cook Islands, the 50 to Murata Niokore, who is at the 50. 30 minutes to go here of the game until someone makes the Rugby League World Cup in 2026. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. South Africa get the ball at 25, and it's going to be first tackle. I will say, though, we'll ask Cook Islands fans in the chat, have you been impressed by this game, or is this just a game of just do it and get it over and done with and you're in? Paul Olberg in the HIA, like, have you been impressed by this game? What pros are you taking out of this game right now? At the 28, and the bull. The big bull takes it to the 38. You gotta love him. What a man. What a man. And now they'll take it out to the 45 to the 50. I will say their defense and forwards have been fun to watch today, South Africa. Cameron Cryer, a little dink in behind to the 15, and they pick it up through Isom Iorka. And Iorka to the 25, first tackle. That's an interesting halves pairing if that actually worked, though. Like, Saikato and Jerome Hughes, I feel like they would come into each other's way quite a bit. I feel like they wouldn't necessarily work together quite well, especially with Saikato really predominantly playing that half-back role. Unfortunate name for a stadium, especially for his son. Cook Islands now, they're away. Cook Islands are away. The 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. Back onto the inside for Kale Ero. You're not stopping him there. Try time for the Cougies. Try time for the Cougies. And it is 24-6 for the kid to come. Polynesian Beast is not really been average at the moment. Need more flair and less mistakes. Well, I did say from the very start that the last 20 minutes should be where Cook Islands really blows this part, which is what you've been seeing from Australia against England recently, which is what you were seeing from... which is what you saw from Fiji against Papua New Guinea. I know. Yes. Either way, I expect Cook Islands to pull it away from here. South Africa should be tired. Their physicality was great in the early parts, but yeah, it's not been the greatest performance from the Cook Islands, but at least they're going to be going to the World Cup, you would assume. You're not going to be seeing South Africa come back from 18, 20 points down. And there will be a 2-hour or so break. Oh, no, it will be an hour. Probably about an hour or so break between this stream and the next stream. And then we preview Samoa versus New Zealand. So plenty of time for you to go grab something to eat, grab a drink in between, and then it's going to be my boot scooting baby driving me crazy. That's what that stream's going to be. It's going to be a good game. I'm actually really happy, though, that draw for the NRL is released end of this week. I'll do a couple of videos based on it. A win and a win, just need to get it first. Yeah, look, your conversion kicking game has not been good. They've missed 3 conversions now. So it remains 18 points. The game is over. Like, there's no... This would be the biggest comeback, greatest comeback of all time if a team of South African standards is able to come back and win this one. 27 to go. I did say before the game I predicted Cook Islands to win by 50. I could still see them scoring 50, getting to the 50 marker. As in South Africa doesn't score again and Cook Islands gets to like 58-6 or 48-6. 48-6 wouldn't get there. That'd be 40 points though. I could still see them scoring above 50 bomb. ChatGPT made the draw. Yeah, it did, didn't it? All I know is that I just don't want the Gold Coast Titans to get stiffed again. We're obviously not playing Vegas. I want to play round one. If we don't play round one, we better not be getting that last game of the round again like we did in 2025. And also, I'm sick of Titans getting all the early buys. Any tips for flying for 2 hours the first time? God help you. Second tackle now for the Cook Islands at the 25. Polynesian Meets need homes for kicking and a few more players to put their hands up come World Cup time. Yeah, we'll just come down to who doesn't get selected for the mainstay teams. Like Val Holmes, I wouldn't assume gets selected. I don't think Get Hamad is sucky. Like Kevin Walters, for mine, I don't think he should be the Wallabies coach. But surely you know that Bradman Best, they're away again here. Yeah, the blowout's coming now. Yeah, South Africa's tied now. Good step by Brendan Pickering to try. 28-6 with the kick to come. It's about to be 30-6 any moment now from right in front. And the Cook Islands will score again right up in the middle. Biffo, someone throw her up a good head, but slap him. Slap him. Biffo alert. Massive Biffo alert. Massive Biffo alert. Someone throw a headbutt. Come on. I don't know why that even kicked off. Like, Pickering scores. Why they haven't... Where was the anchor there? What happened? It just breaks through two tight plays there. And this is what I was expecting. The late on is when the Cook Islands should break it away. Should I get melatonin? Good luck. That's what I'll say, Olivia. Good luck. I'm not the greatest person to ask here, to be fair. I haven't been over there that far. Biakura. And Daz says grab his dick and twist it. Probably don't suggest doing that, Daz, mate, but the old dick twist. Assert dominance. That would be asserting dominance. I don't understand why there was so much anger there, though. All right, 25 minutes to go here of this game. Cook Islands, they are going to be playing in the Rugby League World Cup for 2026. I wonder when the World Cup draw is. Oh, is it up? Do you reckon it'd be... Well, I don't know when it will be. When is the Rugby? Rugby League World Cup draw. I don't even know how it will be drawn too, because there's only 10 teams in it. So Suncorp are getting the Rugby League World Cup final. Wait, hold on. Oh no, this is showing us last one. Ooh, let me hold on. I'm going to put this light away from over here. I want to know when 2026 Men's World Cup. Will it tell us? The competition was to be held in October and November, but was moved to 2026 following the withdrawal of France as the host nation. That's right. Thank God, because that would have been an awful time slot for that World Cup. That would have been an awful time slot in France. But there is nothing to say here, the draw. Oh, here we go. So Australia and New Zealand... Oh, damn. Australia and New Zealand the same group, are they? Australia and New Zealand in Group A, Samoa and Tonga in Group B, Samoa and Tonga in Group C. Oh, Australia versus New Zealand is the opening game on the 15th of October. Okay. All right. Well, now we're talking. Australia versus New Zealand to open up the Rugby League World Cup is going to be a mad one. JC Tohovakava, it's an easy game for the Cookies. Nue Sasa, the Rhinos on Wednesday. Pacifica to the world. Yeah, look, this was always going to happen, mate. This was always going to happen. We were never thinking. Like, South Africa, for the first 30 minutes, were actually pretty good and were quite unlucky in a couple of calls, but this was always going to happen towards the back end of the game. South Africa don't have any NRL level talent and barely have even, New South Wales / Queensland Cup level talent, whilst the Cook Islands still have, a premiership winner in Brendan Pitkura. They have preliminary finalists and Kale Iro. They've got plenty of guys in their team to get the dub here. Oh, there's a knock-on for South Africa. It's not been the most impressive game from the Cook Islands, but they'll pull away now. Is that the pull of death so far? Yeah. Well, if you have to play either Australia or New Zealand, you're gonna get choke slammed into the ground. Yeah. So, in October 2025, it was reported the tournament would be played with one group of 4 and 2 groups of 3, with the top 2 from Group A advancing to the semi-finals and the top team advancing from Group B and C. Group B and C will play 3 games as Group A by playing the teams in the opposite groups. Groups B and C will play 3 games as Group A by playing the teams in the opposite groups. Okay. But how does A3 and A4 get adjudicated? Cook Islands are away here. Cassius Cowley. Try time for the Cook Islands. It's 30-6 with the kit to come. 30-6 with the kit to come. How does A4 and A3 qualify? Like, who is that? They haven't obviously drawn it yet, but God help you, if you get drawn A3, A4, you may as well not turn up to the World Cup. You may as well just not turn up to the World Cup at all, man. Like, God help you. Can you imagine if we see Australia, New Zealand Group A, and then the other ones are like Papua New Guinea and France? If we see Papua New Guinea and France, let's say France and Cook Islands. Can you imagine France and Cook Islands get into Group A? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I think this is going to be blown. This is what we expected, Brenton. I said before the game started it should be 50. They could still get the 58-6 kind of deal. Their kicking game would have already had them at 40-6. South Africa was always going to be tight at the end. An ideal group. The ideal way this groups would be set up would be, I guess, Australia, New Zealand, and then maybe you chuck in a Fiji. They're the only you'd assume England just gets chucked into Group B. So maybe England Group B. Let's say Samoa there. Samoa, England, and maybe Papua New Guinea. And then Group A should be like Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and France. And then Group C can be Tonga, Cook Islands, and Lebanon. That probably is like best case scenario, really. I reckon Cook Islands could be Australia. I'm timing you out for 1 minute, Logan. I'm timing you out for 1 minute. That's what I feel like. Chuck England in there. Like, if England get in there, they get slapped. England slap. They won't know what in them. 21.5 minutes to go the game. 7 tries to 1. South Africa getting slappermundost. Cook Islands, they'll bring it out now to the 15. First tackle. They should just honestly, they could still score 60 here, the Cook Islands. It just depends on how much they want it. They could still score another 4 or 5 tries. South Africa are clearly exhausted, which is what we knew would happen. New Zealand versus Samoa in a couple of hours. We will be live. New Zealand versus Samoa. That's going to be a big one. There's going to be a lot more energy on that one. This has been more of a chill stream because we always knew the result. Could you imagine if we streamed that early morning England-Australia game, had limited sleep, and then watched this game? That's a strip. No, they didn't call it. 5th tackle now for the Cook Islands, the 40. 20 minutes to go the game. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Cook Islands will be in the Rugby League World Cup in 2000. Oh, he's on Mallorca. Nearly gets the ball, but he knocks the ball on. And it's going to be South Africa ball at 10. You will be sent the Cook Islands in the Rugby League World Cup 2026. Polynesian Media says at least our women's team will be a threat to other nations. Well, Cook Islands' women's team is really good. They're not going to beat Australia and New Zealand, but Cook Islands' women's team is really good. Pacific Champions women's. Cook Islands won 42-24 over Tonga and 34-6 over Papua New Guinea. Why didn't Cook Islands didn't lose a game? Why? Cook Islands won their games. Well, it's against Papua New Guinea, though. And it was also against Tonga. Like, Cook Islands still gets slapped by the Australian New Zealand women's teams, but they're probably the third best women's team overall. Do any Aussie actually stay awake for that? I don't know who does. Like, how's the pooling get sorted in the World Cup? This is what we're just asking. Will it be groups of three, 2 groups of 3 and 1 group of 4? Or maybe 2 groups of 5? No, it's 2 groups of 3 and 1 group of 4. So I don't know if you were lagging, if you were just here for this, but we were just discussing this. Australia and New Zealand are in Group A. That'll be the first game of the World Cup. The top 2 progress from Group A. The first place team in Group B and the first place group in Group C are the ones that get through. This is a flogging. Steve says, well, this is actually not as much of a flogging as it probably should have been, but it will eventually get to where it should have been. And there it is. There's another try. Morani Akure will score, and it's 38-6 with the kid to come. Guys, you got to remember, South Africa are not even they're not even remotely a developed nation. These South African players are not even Queensland/New South Wales Cup level. There's a couple of players, maybe one your Sydney Bears, one Mackay Cutters. Overall, it was just never happening. And South Africa are exhausted. So 38-6 with the kid to come. Cook Islands. Well, that would have been a good time zone for you, no, Sean? What are you, 5 hours behind me? 5 or 6 hours behind me? So 2:30, 1:30, 12:30, 11:30, 10:30, 9:30. It would be 8:30 or 9:30 p.m. for you to watch that England-Australia game if you were... I'm going to be back in Vietnam in January. So 38-6. I'm still feeling they could get to 60 if they want it. If they want it, they could get in at 60. They could get a 60 slap up. They could. They could get the 60 slam. 60 slammer inbound, maybe. Carmichael Hunt on the sideline firing up. I reckon the South Africa rugby team would play better than this. The South Africa rugby team, regardless of legal union, would win this game by probably about 900. Lonzo's going off against the Bulls. Stats 1, 2, 2, triple single. Triple single. What's the score right now? Mitchell, call the game over now. 45-37. Call game over now. I don't want to see the rest of it. Game's over. Game's over, Mitchell. I know you're lurking. I know you are lurking. 17 minutes to go here in the game. It is 40-6 to the Cook Islands. Geez, this crowd is still really low, eh? It's really low. Like, I know there's still the women's game and then the men's game, but... Oh, man, I would have liked to have seen a few more people get out to kick around for this. Link streamed it with Ainsy. Yeah, I saw that they were doing that. How'd they go? Was it good? I don't know how many people would have tuned in because I don't know how many Australians would have been up for it. Third tackle down at 35 for a meaningless game, effectively. K. Matayora says Pacific teams have always struggled to field good halves. Absolutely. Only the last 5-10 years, you have seen the emergence of Samoa fielding the likes of Ben Roberts, Anthony Milford, and Luai. Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about this actually probably about half an hour to 40 minutes ago. Yeah, that's been the biggest problem with the Pacific teams. Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga. But Samoa and Tonga before the switchover, even without halves, it wasn't just halves, it was everyone. But the halves have always been the biggest key issue. But when it came to Samoa and Tonga, it was more so just everyone. And then those switch-ups came, and now they're improving. But yes, that is the biggest reason why a team like Fiji has always struggled, especially in the last World Cup. They had to put like Apisa Koroisau, a straight-up 9 into the 7. And they're playing guys like, Brandon Wakeham or Kurt Donahue. Kurt Donahue was a good 13. It's not like a half, but he'll be there 5/8 next year. Fiji actually have a good team next year. If they have if the guys actually say yes to playing for Fiji, they've actually got a good team next year. Goes at the back, and South Africa at the 50 on fit tackle. But you're right, absolutely. It has taken a long time. And still, Papua New Guinea's biggest issues, Guess what? Are their halves. Fiji's biggest issues. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba is their halves. Tonga's biggest issues. Guess what? Right now is their halves. Samoa, we'll see today, but in the game one against New Zealand, when they lost 24-18, their biggest problem in that game was their halves. Second tackle now for the Cook Islands at the 28. That game was just for the Poms to circle jerk. They played like Essex girls. Essex girls. Cook Islands are away here. They get the offload. It goes back to South Africa. It's knocked backwards. No, that should have been knocked backwards, but they're going to say knock on. The game was just for the Poms circle jerk. They played like Essex girls. Don't know. It didn't watch. If you says 129. Exactly. You know. That's not against them. That's against the viewership for that game was never going to be high. Like, if it's at 7:30 p.m., Australians will watch it regardless. But at 2:30 a.m., for a game where the series is already over, the quality of football has been diabolically shithouse for the last couple of games, the first two games. We all knew the result would be Australia's way. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to watch it. I love my rugby league. We stream pretty much 99.9% of all international and NRL games here, but we just had to give that one a miss. It would have ruined the entirety of my day. I've been so tired from a dribble game too. Tasmate says, love with the World Club Challenge every second Insta post, but the Super League is about it and the NRL hasn't posted shit. Just goes to show it's a pre-season game. It is a glorified pre-season game. Also, the Super League is posting about that to try and get people to forget about the international series. Seriously. Second tackle now for the Cook Islands at 25. They go to Isan Masters. Isan Masters. Oh, that's over the sideline. Boop. That's over the sideline. Touch judge is not playing today, Cook Islands. You cannot pass him the ball. No. No, is that working now? Yeah, okay, that's working now. I can see that. I don't know what just happened just then. I didn't change anything. I didn't do anything. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. All I can hear is my tinnitus. And that makes sense, Daz. You are an old man, just like Mr. Hayes. 11 minutes to go here the game. No, 10 minutes to go here the game, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. And now I can't actually hear the game in my headphones. South Africa are 5 meters away from the line. Output. Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's working. And there's going to be a penalty. Penalty South Africa. Penalty to South Africa. Now they're 10 meters away. 10 metres away from the line, first tackle. 10 minutes to go of the game. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Do not forget, we will be live as Samoa play New Zealand in about 3 hours' time, but we'll be live in 2 hours' time. No. Yes, we'll be live in 2 hours' time, but the game starts in 3 hours' time. We'll be alive an hour beforehand. I don't even know why that just happened just then in regards to the audio. I didn't even do anything. It did nothing. Just leave me alone. Just let me watch the Rugby League. Just let me watch the Cook Islanders slap the living shit out of the Saffers because we don't get to watch this in the Rugby Union. We don't get to watch it there. Four tackle for the Saffers. They're 7 metres away from the line. 10 minutes left. And they go for a quick little scoot, kick through, and good work for the Cook Islanders to get out of the in goal. I want to see you score 2 more tries here, Cook Islanders. I need to see you hit the fitty bomber. I want to see the fitty bomber boomba. Give me the fitty boomba, 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 bomber. It does actually, it's quite disappointing actually, because if you're seeing Group A versus Group B, and then Group A versus Group C as the semi-final effectively, then that takes out any chance of a Samoa versus Tonga, semi-final. It takes out so many opportunities. Intercept by South Africa on their way down to the 30, the 25, the 20, taken down to the 20. Gee whiz, good little intercept there. Really poor pass. But South Africa now back on the attack. It's last try wins, they did say. They did say last try wins. They get this ball all the way across, and South Africa are going to be 20 metres away from the line. Second tackle. Kaolero slaps him down on the ground. And now they're going to be 15 metres out. Third tackles. 8 minutes to go here in the game. You only need to score 40 points here. South Africa in the last 8.5 minutes. And all the way across. Intercept. Knock on by Paul Olberg. South Africa will get a fresh set of 15 minutes out. Last try wins, lads. Last try wins. Chilaru's warming up for their game against New Zealand right after this. I just don't understand why the Cook Islands women's team doesn't get to play again after winning both their games by a big margin. Olivia says, I bet they'll give the Bronx loads of Sunday after games now. Look, they should. I think that the Friday night will always get a good viewership. Sunday won't always get a good viewership, but the Broncos at Suncorp actually got really good viewerships. Steve says, I couldn't hear before about what you were saying about the World Cup top 8. Oh, okay. So Group A has Australia and New Zealand, then 2 other teams that have already qualified, but the draw hasn't been made yet. So Australia and New Zealand are in the same group. They're the first game of the World Cup. And they're in Group A. The top 2 from this group goes through to the semi-final, I believe. And then Group B is either Samoa or Tonga, and then 2 other teams. And then Group C is either Samoa or Tonga, and then 2 other teams. So, for example, you're going to see Australia, New Zealand, Cook Islands, and France. And then in Group B, you'll see Samoa, England, and Lebanon. And then Group C, you'll see Tonga, Fiji, and whoever... Papua New Guinea, and that's how it will be. And then the top team from Group C and the top team from Group B they're away here. Cook Islands are at the 30, and the 2 top teams from Group A will play each other in the semi-finals. I just hope it's not Group A versus Group B and Group A versus Group C, because then we're just going to see Australia versus New Zealand in the final. Oh, unless Samoa can take over. I don't think Tonga are in the right place for the World Cup next year. I don't think they're ready. I do not think Tonga are going to be up for it. Oh, Isan Masters got selfish again. 4th tackle at the 45. I would assume it just comes down to Group A versus B and then Group A versus C. But right now, it's looking increasingly likely we're going to see an Australia versus New Zealand final. They're through, taken down at the 10. Tasmate, oh no, this is fit tackle. This is fit tackle. Isan Masters gets the ball, short ball inside. Try time. Mason Teague, 44-6 with the kick to come. Boschke. Well, if the Cook Islands can score 2 more tries and miss a conversion, I'd actually be spot on and winning 50 plus. Dad's mate says they've put the World Club Challenge on a Friday for the Broncos. Wait, seriously? That game's on a Friday? Friday night in England? Why is that game on in England again? Surely it would be Australia's turn. Why is it on in England again? We saw the last time out, Panthers went to Wigan, no? Where old mate Liam Moore was the referee, no? Clown. 5 minutes to go to the game. Cook Islands are going to the World Cup, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to the World Cup. A Friday morning at 6:30 a.m. for us. So it's a Thursday night, that game. Thursday night. Ew. That's going to be an awful time for me in Vietnam. No, that's going to be like 2:30 in the morning. No, that's going to be like 3:30 in the morning. You're kidding me. That's dribble. That is dribble. They need to have 4 groups of 4. Top 2 teams in each group go through to the quarters and semi then final. But they haven't got that. That's not what they're doing. What they're doing is 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 3. 46-6 with 4.5 minutes to go to game. Can they crack the 50 bomb? If they don't, then we're giving Jamaica. We're giving Jamaica your spot in the World Cup if you don't get the 50 bomb here, Cook Islands. If you don't get the 50 bomb, we're giving you a spot to Jamaica. That's what we're doing. You can't stop it. You can't stop the momentum. Can't stop the movement. Here we are, 4.5 minutes left, and the Cook Islands will receive this ball at the 30. Paul Olberg goes up like a leaping gazelle and gets the ball to 35. Come on, one to the 50 bomb here. Bring on your bomb squad now, South Africa. Bring on your bomb squad now. Now they go to the right. Only Rugby Union fans will get that reference. Third tackle here at the 45. Sean says, yes, mate, sucks. 2:30 a.m. That's going to be so awful. Oh, they might get away here. They might get away here. They are away here. They are away here. They are away. Taken out of the 24th tackle. Here we go. Here comes. Here it comes. Here comes the 50 bomb. Bam! Booska! 50 bomb. 50 bomb. 50 bomb. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. 50 bomb. 50 bomb. 50 bomb. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Booska! Get that uppercut right up. Yeah, 50-6 with 3.5 minutes to go of the game. The 50 bomb has been slapper-mundust. In South Africa, unfortunately, you will not be at the World Cup. Cook Islands, you are going to be partying. Partying probably in Group A. Big Brother starts tonight. What are you watching? Maybe not tonight. I hate, maybe tomorrow or maybe next week. I usually like to binge watch the first week of a season. So I usually especially when I'm overseas, it's very easy for me to miss all the spoilers. So the first week I usually don't, and then just binge watch to get up to date with it. Should alternate from England to Oz each year. How many bones we have to give the Poms for them to have a chance? We have to go them the game. What is the English happening here, Daz? Should alternate from England to Oz each year. How many bones we have to give the Poms for them to have a chance? We have to go to them. The games played after the season started. Gee whiz. You know what's a gee whiz? No comments. No comments is the gee whiz here, Daz. That's the gee whiz. I know we ew why. What does he mean? I know we ew why. What does that even mean? And the score now, Issa Mallorca. He will get the kick, and it will be 52-6 with 2 minutes to play of the game. I'm not too fast because I'll be there, but just weird. What are you talking about, Olivia? What are you talking about? Minute 56 to go of the game. Good tune right now. Good tune happening in the stadium. In front of all 13.5 people that are in attendance right now. What is a comma? Yeah, no, I'm not surprised you don't know, Daz. You're a Bulldogs fan. So, Cook Islands now bring this ball to the 20, and it's going to be first tackle. Just one more try, not converted, Cook Islands, and then I said 50 plus. I said 50 plus they win by, well, I only needed one more try. And then I'll claim I said 56-6. I'll claim it. I will claim it. Cook Islands out of the right. Isan Masters, they go to Piakura, and Piakura will be at the 35 on third tackle. She wants his big brother. I don't think she's talking about Big Brother. She referenced Big Brother, but I don't think she's talking about Big Brother anymore. I don't know. Oh, they're away, the Cook Islands. They're away. Mason Teague. He stops. He steps. He taken out at the 30. Four tackle. They go to Isan Masters. And they'll be 15 metres out. Fifth tackle. And that's going to be a knock on. From the Cook Islands. Comeback still on, lads. Lagan, you chose to support the Cook Islands against Fiji and you lost. You chose to support the Cook Islands against Papua New Guinea and you lost. You've now chosen to support South Africa against the Cook Islands and you lost. You can't pick a winner, Lagan, and that doesn't surprise me as a Dogs fan. It just doesn't. You're a New South Wales fan. It doesn't. 35 seconds left here. This should be the final score. And Cryer. Oh, there's a knock on. Don't worry about that, South Africa. Might concede again. Cook Islands, they're 20 metres out. Makatoa gives it across, and yep, the Cook Islands will score again. 56-6 with the gate to come. Well, I called the 50 bomber. I called the 50 plus. Cook Islands are about to be at 58-6. Alex Glenn is chirping. Might have been on the drink since 7 a.m. today. You've never not been on the drink since ever. So the final score is about to be 58-6. We're just going to wait for this conversion, and then we'll be off for about an hour and 45 before the final game, the big game in the Pacific Cup. Final game of the Rugby League calendar, actually. That is the last Rugby League game you will see in 2025 is in about an hour and 45 minutes' time. Well, in 2 hours and 45 minutes' time, but I'll be live in an hour and 45 minutes. My bus scooting, baby, driving me crazy. Cook Islands is slap up, get the Lovo out. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, fair enough. Get the Lovo going. Get the Lovo going, and the final score is 58-6 to the Cookies. The Cook Islanders, a big win. They'll be off to the Rugby League World Cup next year. That is the final team to qualify. We've already got Australia, England, Samoa, New Zealand, Tonga, Fiji, Lebanon, France. Now we've got Papua New Guinea and also the Cook Islands. So 10-team competition next year. Guys, we're going to jump off. We're going to be back in about an hour and 45 minutes' time for the next game, the big game, New Zealand versus Samoa. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. If you haven't already, go check out my preview that I put up yesterday where we were discussing the entire analysis and thought process in regards to who wins that New Zealand versus Samoa game right after this. But I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.